guys, this is Monica from Huckleberry Mountain Botanicals School of Herbalism, and this is Lindy. Sorry we're late. We really did have some technical difficulties, so hopefully you're still sticking around and joining us for talking about self-heal, Prunella vulgaris. I have quite a bit of it growing on my property, some in my garden and just some out there in miscellaneous places. So I'm going to start out with how you can identify self-heal, because it's very probable you have it either growing in your yard, in your garden, or somewhere around you. Like all other wildcrafting or foraging, please make sure you're taking it from a clean area. Not places where there's been a lot of spraying or there's toxins or it's, you know, a construction site or something like that. Okay, do you know the family?
No.
It's the Lamiaceae family. That's the mint family.
Really?
Yeah, and interestingly, this is one of the very few in the mint family that has really no flavor or scent. There's just really nothing to it. You know, you can try to smell it, but unlike other mint family herbs where you can barely touch it and you can just get the aromatics coming up, this really doesn't have that, but it is part of that family. And one of the ways you can tell that is it does have alternating leaves, or the opposite leaves, and square stems. So it does have those in common. It also has similar flower structures, which have the kind of hood in a dark purple, and then little what you call lips coming out the bottom that are a lighter purple or a white. And it's hard. It's going to be really hard for me to show this up close, but I'm wondering if maybe you might be able to see them.
Maybe this one. Kind of.
And each of those flowers grows at a different pace throughout the season, starting in June and going as late as August or September, flowering. And so you can see here, it grows from this, it's like a little tower. And some of them
similar to mullein.
Yeah, kind of.
I mean, it's like little.
Yeah, and some of them are quite tall and some of them are a little bit shorter.
Yeah. And
then they just kind of start opening up around. To me, it's a pretty obvious plant, but not to everybody. Also, one of the distinguishing features is, I think I have a bug on me from being outside. I was messing with my chamomile too. But one of the distinguishing features is that the first set of leaves comes out almost like a collar right at the bottom of each of these little flowers. So anywhere you have the flowers, you have these leaves coming out as collars. They do have a little bit of hair on them, but not a lot. What else can we say about these? The leaves are opposite, the flowers purple, Lamiaceae family. I'm repeating myself now. How they spread. Somebody mentioned like, yeah, they're very invasive, and they can be very invasive. Hi, Kim. I don't like the word invasive. I'm not going to use the word invasive because
they are plentiful.
They're plentiful and they like to grow. So, you know, take advantage of that. It's like anything else. It's like dandelion or mullein or plantain. They also like to grow. So if we know how to use them in our food and as medicine, then we can actually help control them in a way that isn't toxic and it's not wasteful. We're not just throwing it into the, well, it's not like it's wasting when you go into the, what is that called?
Compost.
Thank you. The compost heap. That's not wasting. But, you know, what better way to use your plants that like to grow on their own without you having to cultivate anything than taking it and using it as valuable medicine or as food. And today we're going to talk about some of the nutritional value of this. But first, they do spread by seed, but also by rhizome. There are different types of self-heal, and the ones that normally grow in lawns can be creeping, and they kind of just go along, and when you try to mow, they don't mow.
Yeah, I mean,
they just bend over.
You tell me a while ago that they'll just kind of like bend over and seemingly be gone, but then the next day they're like,
pop right back up. Yeah,
because like that's part of the reason why, you know, self-heal.
Yeah.
They heal themselves too.
Yeah. And this kind that is growing in my garden and most of the places around is not the one, when you have that creeping one, they'll actually have rooting areas right at their leaf, what is that called? Whatever, where the leaf comes out from the stem. The intersect. It'll, you know, kind of be low growing. Whereas the tall ones, they can grow up to 2 feet and more. They, you know, they can also be short. I have some little dinky short ones. I didn't necessarily pull them out, but in comparison, you can see the difference between the heights. And this is not cut all the way down to the base. This is actually cut about partway up. I had some really tall, like 2 foot tall self-heal. And it depends on where they grow. So they do like to grow in moister soil, but they will grow in abandoned fields and places where it's not quite as moist. And that's usually when you'll see them a little bit shorter and smaller. Whereas these are growing in a very happy place in my garden next to my giant, ridiculous plantain. Mm-hmm. And these, as you can see, are pretty content with the moist and partially shaded area that they have. So they grew really, really well. As far as edibility, you can use them in salads, you can use them on sandwiches, you can throw, this is including the leaf, even the stem, and the flower.
Yeah, they're very, very mild. It's not, it's really, it's like an extremely mild spinach. Just imagine that it doesn't taste like anything.
Yeah, and it has a little mucilaginous texture to it, so if you get out there and just put a leaf in, chew it around.
It's slimy.
There's some of that in there.
Which is interesting, because isn't like mint, it's more drying, right?
Yeah. Ooh, I got a nice bitter right there. This is also can be astringent too. But, so what I'm going to do today is we are going to make a delicious key lime self-heal smoothie. Now you can use the flowers if you want to, but the one thing about the smoothie, the reason why I wanted to do key lime was because the self-heal is going to bring in that pretty green color. And you can use the flowers, but it will decrease the bright greenness that you would be getting by using the leaves.
Yeah. Self-heal is probably better than food coloring.
Yes, exactly. It's better than food coloring. And it has vitamin A, C, K, thiamine, and flavonoids, including rutin. So it's helpful for even, you know, well, they are studying it actually for fighting cancer. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Some of the not only traditional uses and ways that it's been used in the past, but also the research and what's being done today with self-heal. It's interesting because if you look up information on self-heal in many of the herbal books or herbal places, you will not find it. It is not easy to find. It's like it came and went. And it's just now, I think, experiencing a revival because the herbalists are finding out that, hey, we kind of abandoned this plant that has really valuable, not only nutrition, but medicinal uses, and it's just sort of faded out. And then suddenly the revival comes because the scientific world is saying, hey, this was used for this, and let's start experimenting with it and finding a lot of wonderful uses for self-heal. So I'm kind of hoping that people will start appreciating it and start using it more. And that way it's not going to take over your whole lawn then. And if you don't have a garden and a lawn, well, find somebody who does organic gardening and offer to take their self-heal off their hands. Yeah. All right, we have so many leaves.
Story of how it was.
I think I'll do that later.
Named. You're gonna do that later?
Because I don't.
Such a cool story.
It's a neat story. There is a neat folklore around how it got its name, and I will share that. I think I'm going to be doing this on the herb of the month this month, and so I'll be going deep into the folklore and into medicinals and some different, what do you call those, like preparations that you can do where you can use it in different ways, from creams to tinctures and things like that. We're also going to be talking about that at our herbal ladies meetup. So if you live locally and you want to come, we have our herbal ladies meetup next Monday in Sandpoint. Just, you should be able to find that information here on the website somewhere, or we can put it in the comments. Maybe Kim can do that. Thanks, Kim. And then the other thing is, which we're really excited about, is we have our new course coming up.
Yes.
Yeah, so we are going to be releasing a new herbal preparations course on August 1st, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so July
28th
at 4 p.m. Pacific, I'm going to have a live event where you should come.
Yes.
And we will be doing giveaways and free things, and I'll be doing some of the recipes from my first herbal preparations course that releases in August. We'll also be giving a coupon at the end for anyone who wants to go and sign up, even if you don't win one of the prizes. Okay, so let's start with our recipe here. This is super, super simple, and I did create this the other day because I wanted something that was supposed to be green, because you're drinking, like, when you put berry and green together, it almost makes a baby diarrhea color. It's not pleasant. It tastes good, but it just doesn't look good. We don't want to drink baby diarrhea. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I hate it. I think it's disgusting, even though it tastes really good. You have to close your eyes and just drink it. Okay, so I wanted something that was supposed to be green. So I thought
a pretty green.
Yes, I thought key lime pie. Well, I tried like banana and stuff, and it did not. The lime and banana did not blend well. So when I looked up the original key lime recipe, which is really interesting, the reason the recipe was even invented in the Keys in Florida is because they had no access to fresh milk until bridges and everything were done. So they had to use canned milk. Well, they had this sweetened condensed milk, and they had all their limes. So they decided to create this dessert that combined those two together.
Is that why it's called key lime
pie? Yes.
Because key limes are a different kind of lime,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
But they're named key limes because they're from
the Keys. So that was the recipe. And when I looked it up, I didn't want to use sweetened condensed milk. I know, mind blown. In the recipe. So I'm using regular milk. You can use almond milk if you want to. I'm using 4 ounces, so a half a cup. And then for the sweetener, I actually used raw local honey. So if you have that, just use your raw local honey. I used 1 tablespoon. If you like it a little sweeter, you can do that. But key lime is supposed to be tart. So don't try to get it too sweet.
Right. You can't dominate the flavor of the lime with sweetness.
You're a beast with those little. You're gonna hurt somebody.
I'm gonna spray myself.
Stick it all the way in there. All the way in there.
All the way. Oh.
We're gonna do juice of 1 lime in here.
And I'm not gonna spray myself in the eye.
And hold on, this always leaks water afterwards. Sorry. And remember, before you juice any lime or lemon, give it a good roll on the table, and you're softening it and allowing for all the juices to come out. Much easier. I'm supposed to do a tablespoon of this. I'm so bad at measuring my things, but can you get me a tablespoon? So I'm actually gonna do that. And you can throw ice in here, and I'll turn it into that nice smoothie. We're gonna do 1/4 cup or just 1 small handful of our self-heal leaves. All right, honey.
1 tablespoon of honey.
Do, 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 do.
You can do it, I believe in you.
Oh my goodness. Excuse me. Wow, okay.
I can't do these things when we're live.
Okay, should do these things. Okay, we're just gonna push this right out. We've got the honey, we've got all the stuff. And unfortunately, this is a really loud, it's an effective blender, but let's get some ice in here. Let's put like 4, we're gonna put 4 pieces of ice, maybe 3. Let's do 3 pieces of ice. But you need to just make it as icy as you want. It doesn't, you don't have to do it like me. Let's do 2. Let's just try 2 and let's see what it does. And the last time I made it, I added 1 of our fresh eggs. It adds really good protein, and we have access to, our pastured hens. Now, if you're buying stuff from like caged, then maybe don't use raw eggs in here.
I'm gonna move the microphone away.
Okay, microphone's gonna move away so that we can do this. hopefully you're still with us. All right, can you get me a glass, like an actual glass?
Like this.
Sure. Coca-Cola.
I wouldn't have seen it.
It's all right. It's kind of bluish, so it's hard to tell. It's not clear.
Okay.
Clear.
Okay.
Give me a wine glass.
Ooh.
One of the pretty wine glasses. No, I want a wine glass.
Okay.
You know, when you're drinking something, you want
Like
it to
this?
be attractive.
Do you want stemless?
No, stemless. She's like gonna pull out every glass from our cupboard. I want a stemless wine glass. That is always how I want to drink my smoothies. You know why? Because everything should be fancy and special. Everything should be special. And if you make it, oh, you guys, that's so good. And look how pretty that, I mean, she kind of chucked it in there, but you could
do mint leaves too. I mean, it's in the same family.
And if I have another lime, but if I had a lime, I could make a little, little slice and put the lime, and I can hold my self-heal there rather than just chuck it into my glass. But thank you. Taste that. It's really good. It really does taste like a key lime.
Wow.
It's delish. It's so good.
It's got the smoothness to it. It's really nice.
And you're getting that good nutrition in there, and you're getting the lime
beautiful
juice.
color.
Yeah,
you can't tell
pretty.
because the lighting isn't great, but
yeah,
you still can't tell.
It's a very pretty color, and a super easy recipe to do. And if you don't have Prunella vulgaris, then you can go ahead and throw in some spinach for that color or whatever too, and that's going to have your good nutrition as well. But this is a great way to use self-heal if you've got it growing in your garden right now. All right, so I guess that is it. Tomorrow I will be talking about the medicinal and possibly sharing the folklore of how Prunella vulgaris got its name and sharing a couple of recipes. Don't forget, if you don't follow our page, like Huckleberry Mountain Botanicals, and sign up for any of our, click follow? Is that how you get
I think, yeah, so
notifications?
Notifications every time we go live.
Sign up for notifications.
Yeah, under the following
menu.
There's instructions.
So that you can get, the instructions are in there. So you can know when we're gonna go live. But we're gonna go live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 6:30 Pacific time. And we'd love for you to be here. And if you come, please say hello. I love to talk to actual people rather than myself. Oh, hi, Diana.
Hi, Diana.
We're just leaving and you're just getting here. So sorry, missed you, but we'll be back at 6:30 tomorrow night, and we'll talk a little bit more about self-heal and do a couple of recipes so you guys can see how a fun way to use it. All right, until next time, health and joy.
Bye.